Hey there, I'm Michael. Welcome to another Review Wars where me and other reviewers put forward nominations for the best games in categories and you, the viewers, get to vote on the winner. And this time we're talking about the best sci-fi games. So let's take a look at the nominations.
The difficulty of Race for the Galaxy is overrated. No, really. So the actions are as simple as draw two, keep one, produce stuff, or play a card by discarding other cards. You select your action and everyone reveals simultaneously. Everyone gets to use the action you've selected, but you get a special bonus for selecting it. It's a mind game. You're pretty sure your opponents will use the action you want to use, so you select something else you want to do. You don't want to give your opponents a free action, so you select the same one as them. Or you're positive your opponent can't do anything with the action you want to use, so you use it knowing they'll get no benefit. It's like rock, paper, scissors in space with cards, tableaus, and victory points. Back to the actions. Specifically, playing a card by discarding other cards. When you use a develop or settle action, you'll get to play a development or a settlement from your hand respectively. Whenever you play a card onto your tableau, you'll need to discard other cards from your hand equal to its cost. It's compelling! There'll always be cards you want to use, but you just can't use them all. And you'll end up discarding them, and you probably won't see them again for the rest of the game. Or even in a set of games if you incorporate the expansions. Which brings us to the final part of the game, using cards in combination to produce massive victory point engines. By using a produce action, you can produce a good on every non-grey settlement you control. By themselves, these goods are worthless, but by using a trade action, you can activate trade effects of cards on your tableau to exchange these goods for cards and lovely points. Remember before when I said you discard cards to play other cards? Well, this is how you get more. I guess you could use an explore action to draw cards, but then your opponents will draw cards as well, and you don't want to do that. Like most games, there's multiple ways to achieve victory. There are the red-bordered military worlds that don't require any cards to be discarded to play them, but instead require military power on your tableau equal to their cost. And there's the windfall worlds, indicated by a coloured aura which automatically start with a good on them, but by default don't get goods placed on them from a produce action, making them a bit of a one-trick pony. Part of Race for the Galaxy's charm is the uncertainty in the strategy. You're never exactly sure what you're going to get, so you have to think of things on the fly. You're not making a sleek convertible engine here, it's more like MacGyvering something out of rubber bands and a paperclip. It's the perfect example of how randomness can make a game better, and all packed into Race for the Galaxy's moderately sized deck. The random card draws introduce a tactical element that keeps the game fresh and varied, unlike some games which arbitrarily add dice because look, mitigation is fun, right? It's what turns a game into something that can legitimately stand up to hundreds of plays. Sometimes you'll even come across a card you've never seen before, then immediately discard it because it's got a complicated symbol on it. So there you have it, Race for the Galaxy. Now if it was only as easy to shuffle as it was to play.
Roll for the Galaxy is an absolutely fantastic sci-fi game. Look at the cover, it is instantly, that is sci-fi, you are in space, no doubt about it. And what they did is they took everything from Race for the Galaxy, the card game, and made it better. And that is why this is the best sci-fi game. What is so good about this game though? Is it the components? Well, frankly, these plastic cups are a gimmick and a joke. So no, it's not the components. What it is it's the gameplay. That is the biggest part of it. You've got these different phases that you can select and the mind games that happen with that of, well, I think they're going to select that phase, so I don't need to because they're going to select it. Or you don't think they're going to and they think you're going to, and you just end up with everyone thinking, oh, well, I thought you were going to, but I thought you were going to, and no one selects the phase that everyone actually needed to have happen. It's really good. And with that aspect of the game, it means that the game is always playing differently. It never plays out exactly the same. It's very hard to predict. It has this like chess-like trying to predict aspect. But on top of that, it has a lot of randomness. Now, with the setup, it has these huge number of starting tiles that you then combine in different ways. So the actual starting setup, the asymmetric starting setup, is going to be different nearly every single game because there's so much, this gives so much variety and replay value to the game. And then you're buying, either you're settling or developing, and that's another choice you're making. So yes, there's a lot of, you know, luck in this game. There's a lot of randomness, but there's so much strategic choice balancing that out with the fact that yes, you draw a tile, that's a luck aspect. But then you choose which side of that tile do you want to be settling or developing your technologies. And either way, this is going to get you points when you do it. And you allocate dice to that and you can build up your tableau, getting new abilities, new dice into your dice pool. You know, there's a dice pool building. And look how many of these tiles there are. Absolutely tons, meaning there's a huge amount of variety, and this game has multiple paths to victory. You can go just building up your tableau until it's so big the game ends and you hope that you've got the most points in your tableau, or you can go trading and get victory points, and if the victory points run out, the game ends. And people might be sat there going, oh, but I've only just started getting my engine going. But you went heavy trading early and you finished the game before they had a chance. Or you went heavy developing and settling before they had a chance to get their trading engine going. There's so much going on in this game. It's absolutely fantastic. And then on top of all of this, you have this bag of dice. This is a giant bag of dice, and you get the joy of just rolling dice out all over the table. And they're bright, they're colourful. You can get different types of dice, so you can tailor your luck. You know, if you don't want to be doing a specific thing, then you aim to get dice of a specific colour that will let you do the thing you do want to do. Or you get dice like these green dice that have stars on that mean you get to choose what you can do with it. Yes, there is a huge amount of randomness, but there is so much you can do to mitigate it, and it's so fun just rolling your dice. There's so much replay value in this because of those random elements, and it scales fantastically. It plays 2 to 5, and you know what? It plays 2 to 5. How many games do you know that claim that and actually, you don't want to play the bottom end or you don't want to play the top end? This, you play any number, it doesn't matter, because your selection, and that's what the thing that takes the most time in this game is, thinking, what are they going to do, what are they going to do, and deciding. That is done at the same time. You are all doing that simultaneously. So there's no add more players, add more time. It takes the same amount of time no matter how many players you have. Yes, it does mean that there's a bit of a solitaire aspect to this. But it's that whole thinking, what are other people going to pick, that breaks away from that solitaire aspect. And you might think, well, hang on a minute, if that's the only interaction there, how can it be as good at 2-player? Because you've only got one person to think about. Well, they've thought about this, and you also have at 2-player a random dice you roll that will randomly select a phase. So there's still an element of you never know what might happen, but you can still plan for what that other person might do. But even if that plan goes wrong, things could work out or could not. This is an absolutely fantastic game. That's Roll for the Galaxy. Be sure to vote for it in the comments below.
Hello. Here is Board Deck and Dice's nomination for the best sci-fi game. Again, a wide-ranging topic here that could have had many suggestions from. I haven't played Imperial Assault yet, I haven't played Rebellion yet, I haven't played some of those big Star Wars games, which may have been more obvious choices. But what I have played that really itches my fancy is Super Motherload. Super Motherload is another deck building game that combines deck building with kind of 2D old school retro gaming drilling game. So you're using your individual decks, which are all slightly different, to drill or bomb down into this mine which grows as you go, and as you do that you will collect different value minerals which you will use to improve your deck. But the way this works is very different to normal deck builders. Instead of having a common market where you're all buying cards from, each player has their own individual market which is layered in value. So you'll have there's four different ones: red, yellow and green, I think, or blue, and then the wild colour. Because when you play the drills, you have to play all the cards of the same colour. And the worst ones are on the top, and when you get the minerals, you place those minerals on one deck of these cards, and when you've got enough to buy the top card, you take it and put all the minerals back. You don't get any change. So it's a real choice between which cards you want to buy, which are going to help you out, and then there's a row of achievement cards which are open for everyone, and you often get achievements for having certain amounts of the different colours, so you're kind of looking at that as well. At the same time, you're trying to drill and mine and bomb in such a way that doesn't leave your opponents easy pickings, leaves them the cheap options, and perhaps in future turns gives you the good options. Another thing I like about this as a deck builder is you don't automatically draw back up. You have a certain amount of actions per go, and you have to spend one of those to draw more cards into your hand. So if you've played all your cards the turn before, you, in theory, could have to use all your actions to draw cards into your hand. It's a really nice deck building system, and it makes for an excellent sci-fi game of drilling on another planet to get the most points and see who wins. I'm in love with this game. Super Motherlode, if you haven't got it, is well worth checking out, and my nomination for the best sci-fi game. Thanks very much. See you next time on Board Deck and Dice.
So that's our nominations, but who do you think should win? Should it be Race for the Galaxy, Roll for the Galaxy, or Super Motherlode? You can put your vote in the comments below, or upvote someone else's, and then join us in around a week's time and we'll announce the winner. I do hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do check out the rest of the videos on the channel, as well as our contributors' channels, and also do share and subscribe the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.